cooling off actually. So, Aurora, we're going to set it here. I will let you have it when it's cool. Please don't touch it. Have a seat. Thank you for that. And now we need to connect. We need to connect the dots between a shrink-eating and a label. So we talked about shrink sleeves. So let's get a shrink sleeve out of here. Let's get a bottle. Let's get a volunteer. You guys are really trying now. Every one of you has not been picked before. I'm not going to pick you. Here. Here's what I want you to do. What's your name? Alex. Stand right there. Stand right here. You are going to hold, well, first, before you hold anything, put the shrink sleeve on the bottle, if you would, please. Which means this is a tube. Open the tube up. Oh, I'm sorry. Open the tube up and slide it onto the bottle. It's not easy to do because it looks easy, but it's not. Let's flip this around. Okay, there we go. Slide this on, and then we're going to have this. We're going to do a shrink sleeve on a bottle. So this is the same thing as a shrink bean, but we're going to use it to label the bottle. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to take our heat gun. Alex, you are going to hold the heat gun.
Fair.
Okay. You go maybe. Oh, come out of that. There we go. Okay. Hold the heat gun, Alex. And we're going to heat the bottom, and we're going to let it go in on the bottom of the container. And it wants to shrink, and it forms into all of the crevices of the bottle, which is wonderful. Because that means I can use this shrink sleeve to totally decorate the container, 100% of the container, and get decorated with a label. So the consumer, when they're at the store and they see a container and they want to read information about it, you can decorate 100% of the container. We're going to come up to the top slowly, because it's going to get hot at the top. We're going to want the potato chip effect. Eventually we're going to go there. And we're going to heat all around trying to get the wrinkles out. So in real life, this is typically not done with a heat gun. This is typically done in a big long oven, hot oven. Okay, I think we did pretty good. Got all of the wrinkles out. Okay, we will turn this off. And then Alex is going to pass this around for everyone to see. You're going to take a look at it up close. There's some special things about it. It's got silver ink. It's got some raised ink here, so you can feel this. It's got texture. It's got some thermochromic ink, which we'll talk about in a minute. When it's done going around to everybody, it gets back to him, all right? Because this guy's going to take it home. But don't feel bad, because I have one for everyone. So when you guys get home, you are going to each have a shrink sleeve. You will have to find a bottle to put it on. I'll give you a hint. It fits on this bottle. So a normal water bottle, this shrink sleeve should fit on. Great question. How are you going to get it to shrink? Any ideas?
I don't have one.
Okay, go.
If you put it in the oven,
You could put it in the oven, but I'm afraid if you put it in the oven, you'll shrink the bottle too. What?
you should put it in the microwave.
Microwave is a good idea, but I'm afraid that the microwave might not work as well because it needs water in it.
You could use a blow dryer?
You could use a hairdryer. That's right. Just like this, get a hairdryer, and if you hold the hairdryer up close, it should be hot enough that it will melt the shrink sleeve. So when you go home, you take your shrink sleeve, find a bottle, you find a parent, and you show them how to do a shrink sleeve on a bottle. Okay? So that's the first thing. Thank you, Alice. What'd you do with the bottle? Where'd it go? Those guys. Okay, when you get back, it should go back to you. I'm sorry? Yeah, I'm done. Thanks. Okay, so let's see. Did we get everything? So let's talk a little bit about some of the shrink sleeves. Did I talk about this with you guys?
No.
So this is my favorite shrink sleeve example that's on the table. And the reason is, it just launched nationally in Canada, and it may launch in North America, in the United States, in not too far in the future. This is a special type of shrink sleeve. This is a material that's called PLA. So just like we had, this bottle is made out of PET, and this shrink sleeve is made out of PET. The shrink sleeve that's on this container is called PLA. PLA is called polylactic acid, but it's got a special property. What is PLA? What makes it special? It will biodegrade. Does anybody know what biodegrade means? Okay, go ahead. It'll turn into dirt, right? Yeah, that's really great. That's exactly right. It will degrade. It will decompose into really small parts. So the label is made of PLA, and there's a label on the top. This label on the top is made of paper, and the container itself is made of starch. So if you took this container after you're done eating the gum, and you throw it in a compost pile, it will totally biodegrade. And that's a unique feature, and they needed somebody that could help them solve this problem, and so part of my job was to help solve this problem. Mrs. Johnstone, you have a question.
When you said throw it in a compost pile, what about, most people probably just throw it away in the trash. When it goes into a landfill, does it get the right elements?
Not in a landfill, typically.
Yeah.
Most landfill products don't biodegrade because the landfill is meant to be a stable environment.
Yeah.
So it actually would not biodegrade in a landfill.
Does
But
it get
a nice
oxidated?
science experiment would be to put it in a real compost pile and see if it does work, right? So this is another example of a shrink sleeve where, again, we've decorated 100% of the container. This is a polystyrene, the same as our shrinky dink. This is polystyrene. Where's Aurora? There you go. It gets really thick, and it also sounds kind of brittle. So
You can pass that around. Maybe they want to see
there you go.
that
You can-
shrinky
you
dink.
guys can pass that around. Shrinky dink. I want you to go home and do some shrinky dinks too. Did you have a question? Yes. I will give it away to someone later in this presentation. Okay. Yes, I will, because I don't need it anymore. Shrink sleeve, shrink sleeve. One more question for you guys. Who can answer this question? Why is this package not a good package for a shrink sleeve? Yeah, go ahead. You right here. I don't know who you are.
It's too big for
Big doesn't matter so much with the blonde hair.
Like there's that little handle in the shrink sleeve. It won't be a good grip on
It's
it.
a good example, right? If you try to put a shrink sleeve on this container, there's no easy way to get a shrink sleeve when there's a handle. So some packages are good candidates for shrink sleeve. I brought a lot of things. Well, here's a neat thing. This does a multi-pack, so there's two antiperspirants in one package, so like a 2-for-1. But sometimes it's not a good candidate, and in that case we use a different kind of label.